Cool. All right, so we're playing Italy. We're playing on regular. This is also important, by the way, that you choose regular here.
Yeah,
mute
like
myself in the
in
background.
the tutorial you cannot choose that.
Okay, okay. And then we do historical AI focuses. That's, I guess, why Switzerland joined last time. And then we start.
It says you're playing Divinity Original Sin.
Hell yeah. That's how we do it. Alright. So, what I usually like to do is go through these things one by one. So, withdrawing from Ethiopia, we're definitely not doing. So, I don't know if you noticed this, but if you click this, you won't get the thing. You see at the top here, decisions available? If you unclick this green thing, it doesn't show anymore, like up here. So
I did not know that.
I unclick everything I know that I won't be doing. So these I won't be doing, I think. I won't be doing this. These two I will be doing when they become available. I won't be doing any of these. Improved working conditions. Depending on which country you're playing, you're going to be wanting to do one of these kind of early on at some point.
Okay.
Or maybe a couple. It basically nerfs you for 180 days, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, or during that period, you get weekly stability, and then after that, you keep the stability, right? And stability is like super important, right? So right now we have less than 60 stability, I think, which means we get minus political power, minus factory output, minus stockyard output, which is terrible, right? If we instead get 100% stability, we get plus like 10% factory output and stuff. So factory output is the most important thing in the game, almost, right? And prediction effect. So factory output is like 1.16 here, right? If you have something that gives factory output, you see stability there minus 7.6%. So we get like 7.6% less of stuff. So this is like the most important thing, and it's also this thing, right? The production efficiency cap. Having this thing at it like capped makes you also produce more stuff. So these two things is like almost the most important things. So, therefore, stability is pretty important. As Italy, though, we have a big focus tree, and a lot of the shit we do gives us stability. So we don't actually need to do improved working conditions. We will get 100% stability, even without it.
Right.
So we fuck that, and we fuck these. These we don't care about, and you see now the thing go away because now we don't have any.
The industrial land appropriation, I always wonder what it's when you cannot build any more buildings, you can create another slot, right?
Yes, but another way you can do it is if you build maxed out infrastructure somewhere.
Yeah.
You get another decision that costs 100 PP, which is just underneath here, which gives you also a building slot, but without the base war support and base stability reducing. So the industrial land appropriation is the war version of it that costs 50 less PP. But it's horrible. You never want to do this. You always save up for the 100 PP and do the 100 PP one instead.
Yeah, I've never had to do the 100 PP thing because I always had enough building slots.
Yeah, I think there's some countries like Hungary, for example, are very capped on building slots. Like you will run out of building slots playing Hungary, kinda. So it's important that you get some territory playing Hungary when you play with a Germany, for example, something to be able to build in. But then there you will actually run into the PP problem where you use it a bit. Italy also has a very strong PP generation, so late game you generally get like 500 PP or something. You can't even spend it, right? At that point, it's actually kind of good to start spending it on the 100. Because what it means is if you built up full infrastructure, right, that's a place where you want to be building factories and stuff anyway, right? Because it builds the fastest with full infrastructure.
Yeah,
so if you get a free slot there, it's very good.
I always build infrastructure before I build the factory, actually.
Okay, yeah. So the reason I'm building this way, by the way, is I know we have a focus that gives us max infrastructure in these 4 states. These, and these. So what I do is I build 1 infrastructure here, and then I build 7 civs here, right? Because the 1 infrastructure helps speed up building these 7. And then I build a 3 in 1, because I know I will have full infrastructure here by the time these finish.
Okay.
So that's my industrial start. I usually like building infrastructure first to max out.
Yeah.
Like you will lose a little bit early on in it. Like you will be a bit behind, so to say, but over time you catch up. I think the break-even, like I've done some simulations and stuff, and I think for most countries the break-even point is like around 39 or 40. And that's when you want to be strong, right? So after that, you don't really care about being strong before that. But I think it makes sense if you're playing a country like maybe Spain, like Civil War Spain. You want to just right away build 1 mill. You don't care about the infrastructure or anything, right? Because you want that mill live as soon as possible so you can get guns out so you can win the Civil War, for example.
Okay.
But okay, that's decisions. Spy stuff we don't do at all right now. You get spy agency for free as Italy later, so we don't care about that. Research, we just do all the good stuff that gives us macro. So these 3 are always like a given, right? Faster research speed, production efficiency cap, and construction speed. Those 3. Then we have a 4th slot as Italy as well. I usually put it, either you can put it here for like increasing your infantry stats. This one is good. You can also do recon company to add, but we don't have the support equipment early on. You can also do this one to increase your support artillery. Those 3 are like good things to give you some oomph right away, right?
What are your focuses on the electronics and industrial side in terms of what you research? I'm always like my main focus. If you go back to the tab on towards the right, My
This
main
one, yeah.
focus is always the construction stuff, and like either concentrated or dispersed industry. Those are the things I'm focusing on most.
Yeah, I would say the absolute most important thing is construction up until 39, I think. So once you have this one, I think the focus shifts to these two. Because like by the time you're in 1941, right, or maybe even slightly before 1941, because you might want to do this a bit early, even if they're costing extra days, right, because they're so good. By this point, you should already have most of your industry built, right? Like you're not going to be having, like you already built a ton of mills at this point in 1941, right? So getting 15% factory output is a lot better than like 10% construction speed on a few more mills at towards the end, kind of, right?
Okay.
But 39, I prefer this one. Prioritize this one, and then 41, prioritize this one and this one. This one is actually sick. This one is a production efficiency cap, right? It's basically the same thing as factory output, but this one has 15% factory output, and this one has 10% production efficiency cap, right?
Why is well, it only is like similar if you're already at the cap, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you will always go towards the cap, right? So as assuming
most of the time I wasn't.
you should be like over, I don't know, once you take like a new gun or something and you put your mills on it, after like half a year or a year, you should kind of be at the cap, I think. It takes like half a year to a year to get to the cap most of the time, I think, at least. So yeah, I mean, this one is good if you are at the cap, right? If you're not at the cap, this one is actually useless for the things you're producing, right? You start out at the cap, obviously, here, but yeah, over time it won't be. So yeah, that's how we prioritize. This one is very good though, because it also has dockyard output, right? If you're actually building a navy, this one helps. Production efficiency cap doesn't work on navy stuff, right? It's just like a fixed. There's no production efficiency cap, right? Like a dockyard will always work fully on a boat. There's no like building up to it.
Also, regarding concentrated versus dispersed, do we always go for concentrated? Or?
Yeah, there's some niche scenarios where you could go for dispersed, and specifically for factory bomb vulnerability. That's the only thing that this one does better.
And that's very, very rarely the case. Or
Yeah, like let's say you're going up, let's say you're maybe Mexico, and you're trying to hold against the USA, and you know that USA usually builds a lot of strat bombers, and you don't have enough like air force to be able to fight against the strat bombers or anything. Yeah, maybe dispersed industry would be useful to help against the strat bombers bombing the shit out of your economy. But it's very, very niche. I almost always go in concentrated, yeah.
And regarding the oil stuff on the right?
Yeah, if you're gonna be using oil, and you're gonna be not getting it for free from a faction member, like if you have a USA in your team, they're probably just gonna lend lease you all the oil you need. So, for example, if you're playing, let's say Hungary, maybe, and you're doing tanks on Hungary, right? You don't have any oil gain yourself. I have one down here.
How do I know if I have oil gain?
F8. And you see these like little things, right?
So if I don't have oil, if I cannot get oil in my country, then it's useless to research that.
Yeah, so what it does is fuel gain per oil, right? And fuel gain from refineries.
Because I basically always researched.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you need the oil, it's good, right? Like I said, if you're playing Hungary heavy tanks, which is what Hungary does, right? What they will be doing is they will be running out of oil, right? Because they only have one oil. So what they do is they import oil from Romania, right? So what they do is trade oil Romania, and they buy some oil here, right? Now these 24 oil they get here will work with this one.
Oh, so
fuel gain per oil.
helps for trading.
Yeah, if you buy oil on the market, it helps. If you're getting lend-leased already like extracted oil, it doesn't help, I think. Like, or well, rather, you don't get lend-leased oil, right? You get lend-leased. Can I start lend-lease something? I think you get lend-leased specifically fuel, and there's two different things. The thing you have up here, right, is your fuel.
It's fuel, yeah.
Yeah, and any excess oil you have gets automatically converted to fuel. And it's fuel you can then send, like you can lend lease fuel and give Germany fuel, right, for example. But you cannot give someone oil. Oil is what you trade, and then this is fuel gain from oil. So yeah, if you're trading to get your oil, this is so this one is always good if you need fuel. If you're just playing like an infantry Romania, you don't really need any oil, right? So then you don't need the fuel.
And
so.
the other stuff, the synthetic.
These are good for. I mean, the fuel gain from refineries are fairly low, but they can make a difference. So if you're really fuel capped, you cannot buy oil from anywhere. Let's say you're playing the Axis, right, and the Allies have a navy, they've locked you off, and you don't have any trading partners. You can't buy oil from Venezuela. You can't buy oil from, I don't know, all the other places in the world outside of Europe that has oil. Then you're kind of set with whatever oil exists in Europe, right? And it's fairly low. Like the only oil in Europe really is this oil field here in Romania. That's the only oil you can really get in Europe, and all of the axes have to share this, right? And it's not really enough. So what you do then is like, as both Italy and Germany, doing the refinery stuff is kind of necessary, especially for the rubber, right? Because the refineries gives you both oil and rubber, and this increases the rubber output, and this increases the oil output of them.
So
But rubber specifically,
you would go on the left and research all of that.
You do all of these basically. Like as Italy, you do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
All of this basically, everything except dispersed, and these you don't need the conversion.
Yeah, the conversion stuff is, I don't understand it. It's as far as I like use it when you switch your production line.
No,
And you upgrade old stuff.
equipment conversion is like, for example, here you see here we have a light tank, the L35,
Yeah.
L335. We have 190 of them. If I do like this, and then I do like give it some extra armor. I can't save now because it won't let me because I don't have the experience, right? But if I make a change to it, right, it becomes a new version. It's the I series of the tank, right? And what happens then is I start producing that instead. But this little thing here, this little checkbox here, convert from stockpile. I can then check that, and that means that like if it uses the same chassis, which the old version does, and the new version, like the same chassis, I can convert the old version to the new version. And it'll be much cheaper to do so. It doesn't require the same type of materials to do so.
Okay.
So it's like faster to convert up. So like if you have, most of the time it's not worth converting stuff. It's better to just have both, right? You have both the old and the new version. But sometimes it can be worth converting. Like if you have a very, like let's say you have you're fighting in, I don't know what's a good example, but some place like where you maybe only have like one airfield, and you've already maxed out it to 2,000 capacity, and you can't build another airfield in range, so you can't get anything more up there. And you have like 5,000 fighters, right? So you have plenty of fighters, you just can't put everything into the air zone like you capped, right? And you want your 2,000 of your absolute best fighters, the latest version of your fighters that are the strongest, right, in that airport to win the air war. Then converting like your old, like if you make a new model, then maybe you research like a new gun or something, right? Like the new guns here for better fighters. Then it could be worth converting your old fighters to the new fighters, because you don't really need the old fighters, right? Because you have more than enough fighters. It's just you need the most concentrated, the best fighters. So there's niche situations where converting can be worth it.
Most of the time,
most of
it's
the time
not
not.
worth researching.
No. Another time where it is worth, if you're doing tanks, there's a thing, flame tanks. It's like a support company you can add. I can't show you now because I don't have the tech for it and stuff. But you can add a support company for flame tanks. So I usually do medium flame tanks. And the way you do them, right, like I don't even have it unlocked. But you add a flamethrower here, and then you can choose it as a flame tank here. And then I put 1 mil on it, right? But a division, if that has flame tanks here, uses so few flame tanks that a single mil on it makes more than enough flame tanks that I need. So flame tanks are usually also, if I unlock flame tank 2, for example, instead of flame tank 1, the new flamethrower, I convert the old ones just because I don't need I have more than enough anyway, right? Like, so I don't actually need the old ones. So I just save a little bit of resources on converting the old ones instead of building new ones. Okay, so last research slot. Like I said, if we want to win the war, probably this one helps us a little bit. I'm just gonna be greedy. I usually just go for something that I'm gonna need. Railway guns I usually like having for when I go to like France or something. So I usually start just researching the armor train.
Okay.
That's research. We have stuff here. I'm gonna take our up here. You can see all your top right. This is all your planes. This is all your navy. And this is all your divisions, right? So what I usually do is here's my air. We just target all the air and we delete it because we're gonna put it up in Ethiopia later. Usually, if I don't need air, I usually sell the air here.
What's the benefit from deleting it?
It just makes it easier to merge it all. The way the AI has it set up is often like 32 of 100, and then they have like 5 of them instead of like having it merged to a single of 100. Now when I have deleted it, it all comes in here, right? And I can choose what to put up, right? So I can do one of these 192, like I fill out the air wings much more efficient, right? So I only get like 5 different air wings, but they're much higher strength each of them. Instead
so you're
of having
deleting the division in terms of you're disbanding it. You're not deleting units.
Exactly, the airplanes still exist. Yeah, they just go back to my stockpile, and then I can just redeploy them. And it's a bit faster too, I think, because most of them are deployed up here in Italy, right? If I just redeploy them by deleting them down here, I think it's a little faster actually than flying them here. So I save a little bit of time. I'll do the air later though. I'm just going through all the things at the top here. So like I said, normally I would actually sell my planes. If I'm playing like Canada or something, I don't need the planes at all, right? So I'm just fucking selling them. But as Italy, I will actually use them to win the Civil War here. So I don't think there's anything I'm selling here early game. Trade, not trading anything, that's fine. Construction, we've already done. Production.
You're not trading rubber there. Or what?
No, it's what are we producing? We're producing trucks. I'm okay with our trucks being produced at minus 7.5% speed. It's like not too important. I'd rather have the sieve for building my economy than a little faster truck production.
Okay, so if you're lacking the resources, it's not that you're not producing the stuff, it's just that you're producing it slower.
Exactly. I mean, the plane down here, I guess, is the one minus 20% on this one. But I'm going to be dumping these planes. I'm not going to be producing any of these planes. These are shit. We're going to be producing all the Navy stuff that we already have half done. We're going to finish. So we're putting all the way up here. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We don't want to make sure we're not building any extras. That's fine. Then we can close these so we don't even see them.
Okay, that's because they are already in production and you're not wanting to waste the resources.
Yeah, basically I already have half a submarine here. I might as well let it finish than just throw it away. These ones is more questionable. You could actually choose to not do these ones. You see, like they're all made like 20% done or something. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're really. They are good ships though. The Littorio class, I think, is the best ships you get. It's a pretty strong heavy ship, I think. Yeah. So these are actually decent ships. I actually kind of want to finish those. So yeah, just max out and just small them down. And then we do convoys, and then after that we design actual properly good ships. Which leaves us with basic tanks. I'm not sure if we're... depends on which Italy I'm playing. Sometimes I just don't do tanks.
Can you drag and drop?
Yeah, you can reorder.
Holy fucking shit. I always use the fucking arrows. It's so annoying. Oh my god, you just made my fucking day.
This is why I think it's important to watch someone else play, kinda, because they will do things that you just, oh, you can do that.
Oh my, like if you have such a long list and you're trying to get something to the top and you were just moving them with the fucking.
It's really annoying. So here I will look into my little text document I have of HOI builds, and I will look into what I usually do as Italy, because this is like trial and error, right? I've found out through doing this over and over what I actually need to not run out of equipment doing this. So I usually do 5 on support. I do 2 on artillery. We're not doing artillery at all right now, so we're going to be adding that. And then I do 2 on truck. So we already have the truck there. These ones I don't change much. I actually might minimize them too, so I don't need to see them. And then rest on guns. And then we skip the light tanks. We don't actually need them. Fuck the light tanks. And then Navy stuff is building there. We're gonna just increase how many dockyards we use for repairing to max. So we repair quickly in case something needs repairing. It's always good to do. And then we can look at our trade now when we've done some changes. We're missing a bit of steel and chromium, but it's just for the ships, and I don't really care. We're just going to be on building convoys for a while anyway, so they'll finish. It'll be fine. Here I do this thing. I don't know. I told you about this, right? High priority on these 4, medium priority on these. Just makes.
Oh, it's completely the other way around.
Oh.
I remembered incorrect.
Oh no.
I thought the top ones were high priority and then the bottom 4 low.
Oh, okay. No, I always do it like this, right? So new troops red, reinforcements and upgrades yellow, and then these 4 green.
Okay.
That's always how I do it. But we're not going to be training any new troops, because if we look at our stockpiles, we're missing 5,000 guns, and we're missing artillery, and we're missing support equipment, so we're not producing any new troops. We just want to make sure that these guys get full strength. And the way you see strength, right, is orange bar. I think you probably have learned that already. So you see, like this guy, for example, you see his orange bar is not full. He's missing current fighting strength 70%. He's missing 224 guns right now, for example. So we just want to make sure that these guys are actually down here fighting already, gets full strength before we start building anything new.
Okay.
And that's all the stuff up here. No, it's not. So this last thing I also always do, maximum fuel priority to army and minimum fuel priority to navy. Is what I do. This I do because, like, if I have tanks, for example, usually them having high fuel is more important than anything else in my army having high fuel. Because if they get like stuck behind enemy lines or something and they don't have fuel, they die and then they're dead. Whereas if like my air force doesn't have high fuel, like they'll just fight a little worse. Or if my navy doesn't have high fuel, like I don't know, I usually just send the fuel in if I have navy in if I don't have high fuel rates. So yeah, army max fuel, navy minimum fuel. Make sure the fuel goes to the most important things. I don't think there's anything else here really. Nope, looks good. And the officer core, we're not doing anything right now. Cool, so let's finish these. Missing equipment production, fuck that, we don't care about the planes. Focus, I usually do rush this research slot here.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what the tutorial told me.
oh, it did?
so-
That's interesting,
yeah.
okay. So yeah, boom, 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 these 4 down,
Yeah,
and
but
then
it's also
some stuff
like
here maybe.
in general, in terms of research, focus tree, I most of the time start with eco stuff, like economy, and yeah, if I see a research slot that I can get, that's what I try to focus on, whatever I'm playing.
Yeah, I think that's usually my highest priority is research slots. Like research slots into civilian factories is usually like the main thing early on, at least, that I go for. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that one. Cool. And then airplanes in reserves we don't care about. No division training we don't care about. Insufficient resources, like I said, we already checked. There was things, we don't care about that. Not enough manpower or equipment for garrison. It will be, since we have it on highest priority now, so anything we produce will go straight to this first. Another thing we can do is occupation loss. I think we want to do... we want to have
Yeah,
a
that's
decent...
something I don't understand.
This one, the horses. Horses are the best ones at occupying. If you can see, they have a stat called suppression. Here, suppression 8.0 per horse, right? For 4 horses. If we, for example, instead do infantry, you can see we go down to 7.5 with 1 infantry instead of a horse, right? So horses gives the most suppression per division. So we want to be doing a horse template, and we don't want any support things in it, because they don't help suppression, except for MP, but we don't have the tech for MP, right? If we had the tech for MP, we could put it in with... if you have a lot of things you're occupying, it could be worth it, but otherwise, nah. So we just make an
What did
MP.
you do there before you close this? What did you do
This one?
there under equipment? Yeah.
So this is the priority in terms of like what equipment they get. So you have default, elite, or reserves. So things with reserves will receive the worst guns
Okay.
and with the lowest priority, kinda. So like if let's say you have gun 1, gun 2, and gun 3, right? You want your gun 3, the best guns, to go to like your mountaineer division, right? You want them to be elite, because these are the guys you're gonna be mostly microing and pushing with, or tanks, for example, right? You want your tanks to be elite too, because you want the best equipment to go to these guys. They want the best guns, and then you want your medium equipment to go to your just infantry line, basically, right? Like whatever's left, and then whatever's scraps, they can go to the MP unit, because your MP unit, they don't actually need stats, right? They don't need soft attack or hard attack or breakthrough or anything like that. The only thing they need is suppression, so any gun will work just fine for them. So they can just take the shit guns with reserves here. And then we want to make sure we're using them. Yep, MP is being used for our garrison template. And then we want to set, I think we just set our martial law here as our so the way occupied territories is, right? Like territories can either be core territories, right? You have a core, so like the state, for example, Campania is a core territory of Italy, or it can be an occupied territory, right? Like this is a core territory of Benghazi, but Italy's occupying it, right? This is not a core territory. So it not being core means we don't get that much out of it, so to say. So this is Libya, right? Kingdom of Libya. So there are 720,000 people in Libya, and we're only getting 0.2% of that as manpower. So we're getting 1,600 guys to our manpower from that, which is very low, right? Compared to like a state we actually have cores in. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, the recruitable population here is 34,000 compared to the 2,000 here, right? Even though the population is somewhat similar in these two states, I think. I can't remember where I clicked now. 8,000. Oh,
No, it doesn't matter.
whatever. So yeah, core territories gives you much more manpower, and here's like how much of the industry and how much of the resources you get from the territory as well, which is also a multiplier. That multiplier is based on your compliance. So compliance is this blue bar going up, right? So we can check in each state here. The blue bar is 35% here, 35% here, 35% here, and that should match in general. The Kingdom of Libya, the entire Kingdom of Libya, is 35% on average. Yeah, that's a compliance, and you want it growing. And depending which law you set for their occupation, it has different growth, right? But it also has different resistance. So that's the thing you need to keep in mind, right? Resistance versus compliance. So if you set everything on like civilian oversight, you see there's no downside to compliance. Compliance will grow the fastest, but there's also no control of the resistance, which means the resistance will grow a lot as well. So what I usually like to do is I would like to set everything on martial law, which is like a very harsh thing, but it makes sure the resistance is handled okay. Like it fucks resistance hard, so you don't get any resistance. And then step by step, as things get compliance, like loosening it up. So, for example, Kingdom of Greece and Croatia, we have like this area here and this area here. We already have 70% compliance on that, so that we can set to like let's do local police force on these two, because they have a high compliance. This is the kind of thing you don't necessarily need to micro. It gives you like a little bit of extra, right? But you don't have to worry too much about it. But I figured I'd just show you how it works, kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, I like in the tutorial game I had Croatia being unruly and I didn't know what to do with it.
Okay, yeah. But likely, probably by just setting this to high here means nothing will be unruly.
Yeah, because
highest priority will.
Because I had it on low.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay, so that's occupied territories. That leaves us with the actual army stuff. So we take everyone shift-click that symbol up there, and you get everything that's not in a division into an army, right? We put all 46 divisions here. Next thing we want to do is we want to take the northern front. We make an army of that, and we put it in a field marshal. We find our field marshals. We want Rodolfo, and then
is it always
we
the
want
same guys there.
Yeah, each country has the same historical. Guys, and this guy is the best one I can maybe show you for that too. So he has the highest stats, right, of any of our field marshals, 32. He's the highest level 2 compared to the other ones, who's level 1. He also gets Desert Fox by default. The other ones are pretty useless. This offensive doctrine is something we would be getting anyway. Anyone can get the offensive doctrine. It's free for anyone to unlock. That's a field marshal. And then later on, once we have the command power, we're going to be promoting him with charismatic, I think. I like this one for attackers. Gives division recovery rate. So yeah, we set him as field marshal, and then we find a good general guy here. So this guy's good, but he's like a tank guy, armor officer. I think we're saving him for if we're doing tanks. We want something with infantry expert. This guy with mountaineer is pretty good too, though. This guy's good, I think. Infantry expert and organizer. Those are good sets. So we do him, and then we do a southern front. On the same field marshal, and we do some other guy here. Let's do this guy. I guess he has infantry officer as well, so he'll get the infantry expert pretty quickly. The North Army, we get the front line. We set planning.
A second. Hold.
Yeah.
I think I missed something there. You put all your army into one division?
Into one all divisions into one army, yeah. The red one over here. And then I took out specifically these guys at the top. These guys here, and you made one army out of them. And then I took these guys down here, and you made another army out of them, right?
So they're not all the same thing.
No, so I have these 18 guys up here, the brown ones, on this front line here. And then I have these 7 guys down here. Purple one on this front line here.
But why did you make all into one then at the beginning?
Because they're easier to find if they're all, like, I can click on them here and target them and see them. If they're just all up here, like as a symbol, shift-clicking, that's kind of annoying. So I don't like having any troops outside of an army. I like just putting them all into an army, and then I can pull them out of this army one by one. So now I have these are the leftovers now, right? They're in other places than these two. So these are the ones I'll be pulling from now.
But why do you, like, what's the 2 out of 5 there for this?
So a field marshal can have 5 armies under him, and each army can have 24 divisions in it.
I think I never did the field marshal then.
Okay, yeah. Field marshals basically give bonuses as well, right? For one, their stats benefits to the whole army, right? So like the attack and defense and stuff applies as well.
I did do that.
But more importantly, they have the field marshal traits, right?
Can you click on your flag, country flag, top left? Is that the same? No, that's not the same thing as the military stuff down there.
No, this is the cabinet, so to say. These also give benefits. Sometimes they appear in both of these places, though. So like this Rudolfo guy can exist here too, because I can show you that too. The way this works is you have, so here's him, right, with the traits. So we have field marshal traits here, right? These only apply for a field marshal. So for example, this offensive doctrine you can only get on a field marshal. So this applies to the whole army all the armies that are underneath him, right? The offensive doctrine here. So a normal general cannot get these because they're not a field marshal, right? They're just a general. So earn traits, general traits, field marshal traits, and then train traits. So earn traits and general traits and train traits, I think, apply 50% when someone is acting as a field marshal. So Rodolfo here is acting as our field marshal, so he only gets half from these traits. So he has Desert Fox, for example. So this is halved because he's a field marshal, not a general. But it still applies, right? It's halved. So half is still good on the entire 5 armies underneath him. But then the field marshal trait is unlocked because he's a field marshal, right? You don't get these for generals. So yeah, generally
this,
So generally, what you want to do is you want to have one offensive field marshal with like an offensive doctrine and aggressive assaulter, for example, and then you want to have one defensive field marshal with like defensive doctrine and like unyielding defender and things like this, right? And then multiple armies under both for defense and offense. That's usually how I set it up. If you're a small country, of course, you might not have that much, but like as a major, at least you have like one defensive and one offensive field marshal and army and stuff under. And then about the cabinet stuff here, right? So here, for one, you get a bunch of dudes from just your country, like they just appear by default, and you just have them. But you can also promote your guys to it. So, for example, this guy Rodolfo. If you click this tab here, Officer Corps. This is your officer corps down here in the military staff, right? So you can actually give him promotions here that makes him appear here as an option.
Oh,
so, for example, you see Chief of Army and Military High Command. So Military High Command is like here.
Yeah.
And then Chief of Army is this one here, right? So, like, for example, if we want army organization, plus organization on the army, right? If we want that one, we can look here. We need someone, he needs the trait organization first, which is...
So essentially he can climb up the ranks and go from active military to government stuff.
Yes, and he does both at the same time. Being in the military staff doesn't mean he can't be a field marshal. So if you give him a promotion here, he can both be in the military staff and still lead your army. So you can build up what you need there. For example, here it says Rodolfo Graziani is already an advisor, right? So he can't actually become take any of these stats because he's already one of these options by default from here. And that's just like a role play thing they added for the country, right? Like, I think he's maybe the armored guy here. Rodolfo, do we see? Oh, maybe it's the theorist actually. Here, Rodolfo Graziani. Yeah, so yeah. That's the guy where he's. That's why he can't be something else. But if you, for example, wanted an army organization specialist as our chief of army here, we could try to promote him. So he requires organization first to do that. I'm not sure what's... Usually I don't fuck around with these things too much. But I'm just interested in looking now. So organization for organizer. I'm not sure where organization first trait is. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can find it. But yeah, there's ways to get what you want here at least. And some of these things can be good. For example, if you having a military high command that's an armor specialist, right? I'm not sure if Italy has one. No, it doesn't look like it, right? An armored expert, like plus I have infantry expert, I have cavalry expert, but I don't have an armored expert. So if I'm building a tank in tank Italy, I'm definitely gonna want someone promoted to an armor specialist here. This thing, to put him in the military high command. That's very important. So what I would do then, that requires Panzer leader to do that, right? So you need to grind this one on a general. You get this on a general first, and then you promote him, I think, to a field marshal, and then he becomes available to military high command when you give him this thing here. And then he gives you the whole country, the bonus there. So that's a cool thing. Anyways, we have 21 divisions left. We have a couple of tanks. We still have enough tanks in our stockpile, I think. 190 light tanks, yeah. So they'll be okay. They won't die. Tanks do poorly in mountains, so we're going to put them on the southern side. So we're going to put them in the purple army and put them on this front line here. And then mountaineers do obviously good in mountains, which there's plenty of in the north side. So we're going to double click on that. Those 4 mountaineers go into this guy and go on here. And then all these divisions you spawn with as Italy are shit. Like this, and
everything that's red down arrow stuff.
Yeah, making this one red down arrow too. This I know by heart that they're shit, right? So that's how I know it. You spawn with a bunch of different weird. So I just click them away and make them. So now when I click on it, they show with this little yellow arrow up, which means they're like outdated, they've been decommissioned, and the red arrow down, right? Which means I know they're shit. The weird thing with Italy is a lot of these you can't even delete. But this horse division, for example, it's up in Rome. It's low strength and it's a shitty horse division. I'm just deleting that, right? I want those guns to go somewhere better. And then we have another horse division up here. We're deleting that because we want those guns to go somewhere better too. And then we have this guy here. I can't delete this guy, so I'm gonna have to live with that.
Why?
It's locked. The unit can't be disbanded. I think it's because it's part of a template that's part of the role play thing in Italy's focus tree. I think there's somewhere. I think you have to do some focus maybe here that unlocks the ability to delete them. But for now, that's just the game. You can't delete them, so I'm just gonna have to live with it. But this guy over here, I can delete. He's super low strength, right, and it's shitty template as well. So boom, deleting him. Leaves us with 11 guys up here in the north now that haven't been assigned to a place, and we already have 22 up here, and we only have 10 down here, so I'm putting them all 10 down here. Boom. So they will come down here.
So you are moving all your troops to Ethiopia?
Yeah.
That you have in Italy. Okay.
Definitely. Cool. And then just quickly do the navy. Early game, I like just
But
merging.
wait,
waiting.
Go back to Ethiopia. You already set your front lines and your advanced stuff, right?
Yes, I won't actually be using any of this, but there's a thing called planning. If you click on a... fuck, I'm gonna push the talk on V now, I'm not sure if I can...
Hmm? What did you do?
Give me a sec, I have push talk V, so it's fucking with... Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do voice activation instead. I know, pressing V is like in some order, so if you have army select and press V, you get fucked. So, army, right, you have a couple of things here on these guys, right? You have a thing here, if you look here, a little blue bar, you see it's just little bit right now, but it's going to be growing if they're standing still. This is the entrenchment. So you can see that this unit is entrenched. It receives a 2%, max 33% defensive combat bonus. It will increase 2% each day. So it's basically like, you know, they have shovels, they dig themselves down, they become entrenched, so which makes them defend more. As soon as you start moving them, you lose all your entrenchment, right? So entrenchment is important, like just keep them steady. Make sure they don't move if you want to keep their entrenchment. And that's important for your defensive part of the front. Another bar you have is the XP bar right here, right? You've understood the XP system. Yeah, you have like different levels. They get some benefits when they're higher level. You can train them up, right? Partly by letting them train fully until it's full here. Then they become like regular, I guess. And then after that, you do the train command on them here, right? And they can go all the way up to this rank regular. So generally, you want to make sure all your troops are regular when you enter fights, right? But we're already at war, so it's a bit too late for us to be training. But the next bar that's important is this one right here. You don't see it anywhere, right? It's empty everywhere on these guys. None of them have any of it. But this is plan preparation, so up to 34% planning we can get, and they get 2.2% each day. And planning basically gives you bonuses when you attack. And how to get planning is to stand on a tile that either your field marshal or your general has an order on. And the order right now is this general offensive plan, right? So this guy is standing here, he's next to a front line that has an order, and then he will just gain planning a bit every day. So he's increasing by 2.2%. So that's why I'm making these. I'm not actually going to be using these front lines and these orders. I'm going to be microing my units individually myself. But I'm just making these in order for them to get the planning stat.
Okay.
So always make an order. You don't actually have to assign them to the order or stuff like that. You don't have to... Because you can always unassign guys. Like if you do this, right, and you click this button, unassign divisions, boom, you see these red marks? It means they're not assigned to the order anymore. So they're not part of this order. They won't do anything at all. But they will still gain the planning bonus now, because they're still standing here. For convenience, I'll just let them be part of this thing. I'll micro mostly it myself. But I'm not going to press play, I think, because, I'm going to be microing myself. So that's army. And then let's do air. So we have... kind of 2 or 3 air zones we're working with here in Ethiopia, here, and here. We have one airport down here in the south, and we have one airport up here in the north. So there's 2 things to air, at least here. There's more things, I guess, but for us, we're talking about fighters to get air superiority, and we're talking about bombers to do cast damage. So we want 1 fighter wing here on air superiority in this zone, so we get green air here. So getting green air means your units are moving faster, your enemy units are moving slower, and you get some combat bonuses just by having air superiority.
So green is basically just, okay, you have air superiority.
Yeah, and I'll show you once I unpause, you'll start seeing this air zone, like we get fighters and they start showing us green on the air map, right, on F3 is where I'm pressing here to see the air, right? So we want air superiority in these 2. There's no fighting happening much in this air zone to start off with. I'm mostly going to be pushing out here on this side, so I'm keeping the air in this zone, and then later I'll move into this zone. And then we want CAS as well. So I'm mostly going to be pushing in the north. I'm going to be pushing a little in the south, so we want a little bit of CAS in the south, like the 64 here, for example. I set those to CAS, and I do this air zone, and then I put the rest of the CAS up here. So we do 1, 2, 1, 1, and 1. I guess all these guys can get CAS. And then we keep 100 fighters as spare. We don't need more fighters. Ethiopia doesn't have any fighters, so we don't need more than 100 on each place. So we do CAS, and we put them all here. 344 CAS. Beautiful. And then... to actually... in the Navy, I'm going to show you the Navy quickly first. The Navy usually spawns split like this. I don't like that. I usually merge it all, and then later on I split it up myself. So this is our main fleet right here, it looks like. It's in a port with 10 fully built up ports, so it can repair efficiently. So I basically just target all these other guys, all these other little task forces, and I just click go there, boop, merged into this one. So everyone will now go and merge with this one, and they'll just chill there. and then we can deal with the navy later. And that's it. I'm gonna be giving some orders. So down here it looks pretty weak, right? We only have 7 divisions here, so we have a lot more coming from the north here to reinforce. I'm not gonna do anything down here for now. I'm just gonna let them chill. Oh, another thing I'm missing actually is we wanna motorize our. Do we? I think the F4 is a supply thing, right? You can see the supply. We have decent supply right now, and we have a supply hub here, and we have a supply hub here, and we have a supply hub here and here in the ports. But we will start running out of supplies as we push further in. You can see this zone is already a bit low on supply for these guys. Can I see how much supply?
Yeah, problem I had when I pushed in.
Yeah. So one way to deal with that is to build like railways and supply hubs and shit like that, but that takes a long time, right? Another way to do it is to motorize a supply hub. Here's the motorization level of the supply hub. So it basically means how far out it extends. So what I do is like this one is good to motorize, and I think this one down here is good to motorize. Although I'm not sure if we have enough trucks for it right now. 151. We are producing 2 trucks here, 2 mills and trucks, so we'll be getting trucks. So I will motorize this at some point. I'll just try motorizing this one. I think it'll be okay. I think we have enough to motorize like at least one. And then I'll motorize the one in the south when people arrive there. And then we start pushing. So I take all these guys probably, and I just click here, and I click here, and I click here, and I click here, and I click here.
How do you change the command from shift?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we just try to rush the capital as well. And then
when do they capitulate? When you get the capital?
War score. So if you click on your war thing here, you can see that you have a capitulation bar here. You need victory points for it. So they will capitulate when they have less than 20% of their victory points left, and they currently have all their victory points, right? So you can see here, Addis Ababa is worth 5 victory points. Jiren is worth 1. Jabello is worth 1. So basically, if you add all these up, like you get to maybe 30 victory points total, and their cap is worth 5. This one is worth 2. So yeah, once you get like 25, they will capitulate. So yeah, you just gotta go for these little villages, kind of. But getting their capital is a big move, right? Like it usually has the most victory points. And then we have our air is also working on this tile here, so I'm gonna attack this tile too with these guys, and they can continue onto that tile after they're done with that tile. And that's it. I think we're ready to play. So I'm going on 5 speed. Obviously that's way faster than usual, but we get that tile, we get that tile. We're pausing. We do here the supply consumption -5% is very good. So we do this one, and then we want sultanates to fold, so we send an ultimatum to them. Nice, we took this tile, we took this tile. All these guys are pushing in. We can keep pushing with these guys. We can keep pushing with that guy too.
So you always have to reassign the order when they push one tile, because otherwise they go somewhere else?
Kinda, as long as they're attached to this order, you see that they will keep trying to move back up here. So what you can do is, like I said before, just unassign them. Then you get full control of them. At this point, I kind of do like them being part of the order a bit, though, to make sure I don't get any holes in the front line. So I'll just grab most of them and just click where I want to click. I'm going to be pushing up here anyway in a bit, so I'm okay with them going over here as well to prepare for pushing over here. So that's okay. Here I can show, by the way, the planning, right? You see this guy has full planning now. So his attacks will be increased by 34%. These guys don't have planning, but that's because they've already, like, as long as they are attacking, they don't get, they're already like attacking. Oh, and here I can show this interesting thing. So here, this is an interesting thing, right? We have double bubble. What this basically means is I shift-clicked onto this tile while they were trying to walk back into this tile as I was moving into it, right? And then, like, it can't be decided if I should be the one attacking or they should be the one attacking, right? Because we're both trying to attack each other. So what happens is we both get to attack each other. So I have 2 parallel combats happening at once between the same tiles. It doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, that's the thing to matter. Then I can show you a bit about stats in combat, right? So here's a fight, right? So you see the green bubble. The green bubble basically just means you have more organization on your side than they have on their side, right? And organization is the green bars, right? So green bars is the main thing that determines if you're fighting or not. As soon as your green bars are gone, you're gonna stop fighting and you're gonna be retreating instead, right? The fight stops when the green bars go away. So you can see they're starting to get a bit low here on the green bars on their side. This guy has a lot of org, but the other ones are pretty low org. My guys are a bit mixed, but no reserves on either side. And that's because you see the combat width is 50. I'm using 52 width, and they're using 40 width. And there's no reserve, so all the guys I'm attacking with fits into the battle, so they're actually part of the battle. Nothing is waiting here for something to like get deorganized and get into the battle. The way organization is done is, I think it's the soft attack and hard attack that attacks the hardness of your opponent and then damages a soft attack. Strength, I'll explain more about that later. Strength is like the equipment and stuff, right? So you can see their combat strength is pretty low. They don't have the manpower or the guns or whatever for their divisions. They're missing stuff. My strength is actually good, except on this guy, but all the other guys have full strength. That's good. Here's a little few buffs. You see entrenchment here gives him some attack and defense. The terrain gives this guy some benefits. I think it's because it's a special unit. It has some bonus in mountains, I think. Same would apply to my mountaineers, but I don't have any mountaineers in this actual attack, I guess. And then to the actual stats. So, oh, here's interesting too. Yeah, see, the terrain actually fucks me, and it's because it's a mountain terrain, right? I think mountain terrain gives you, you see, mountain attack 50%. So every attack in mountain terrain gets fucked by 50%. And since I'm attacking, I get minus 50% of my attacks, which is huge. That's a big buff, right? Like defending in mountains is easy. Like if this was flatland, Ethiopia wouldn't stand a fucking chance, right? But because it's mountains, it's actually kind of hard to push into. But here's all the stats. So we have soft attack, we have hard attack, and we have breakthrough on the attacking side. And on the defensive side, we have soft attack, hard attack, and defense. So the way this works, right, is you design a division, right, and they have all these things. So you have a soft attack in the division, you have a hard attack in the division, you have defense, you have breakthrough, and different things you put in will give different things, right? So the support, you have also organization, which is your max organization, right? How much your unit can fight before it goes away. So, for example, if you mouse over here to compare this is the support artillery you already have in, right? So if we remove that, you can see organization goes up. So a unit that doesn't have support companies has more organization, right? Which is a downside, right? Like that makes the division worse, losing organization. But you can see our soft attack also reduces by a lot, our hard attack a bit, our breakthrough and defense a bit as well. So generally having soft support artillery in is good, because the soft attack is what attacks the softness of a unit, and the hard attack is what attacks the hardness of a unit. You can see here this bar, hardness is 0%, right? Because it's an infantry division. It doesn't have any hardness at all. So what that means is that it takes 0 damage from hard attacks, and it takes 100% damage from soft attacks. So this division fighting itself would deal 54 organizational damage per month or whatever. There's some math to that, but basically soft attack attacks the organization, and in this case, since 0 hardness, it's only the soft attack. If we instead look at our tank division, it has a little bit of hardness. It's a light tank division, right? It only has 1 light tank, 2 motorized, and a bunch of horses. So it's not very hard either. It's just the light tank in there. But it gets a little bit of hardness, 14% hardness, which means it takes 14% hard attack damage and 14% or 85% soft attack damage, right? So that's the strength in having a tank division, kinda, that they get hardness, because usually divisions have way less hard attack than they have soft attack.
Yeah.
You can build divisions that have a lot of hard attack, but you need like AT, right? I don't even have it ticked, but yeah, if you have a lot of anti-tank in it, you can actually get strong hard attack. But yeah, most of the time, soft attack is more. So therefore, tanks are strong because they don't take so much soft damage. So yeah, you have breakthrough and defense. That's the next thing we get to. So defense is how much damage you can avoid while defending, and breakthrough is how much damage you can avoid while attacking. So basically the way this works is I think you just ignore a certain amount of damage taken to you based on these values. So like, and breakthrough you get a lot from tanks, have a lot of breakthrough, motorized infantry have a lot of breakthrough, right, and stuff like that. So basically, a division you want to be attacking with, you want to have high breakthrough, and a division you want to be defending with, you want to have a high defense. And here are the values shown here. So yeah, basically what happens is they just fight like this, right? They duke it out. The soft attack attacks the org, they get degorged, and the point they get degorged, they will automatically start retreating back to a tile. And yeah, combat 1. Here's the important thing for air, right? So right now, up here is CAS. They have 0 CAS, they're not doing anything. I have 108 CAS in this battle. It's currently done 7 damage to org and 4 damage to strength. And as you're fighting, you'll see this number goes up and up and up. This is super strong, because it's just basically bombing away their org and strength, right?
Yeah.
So CAS is king. CAS is one of the strongest things in this game. And then you can also see we have air support, we have enemy air superiority, and you can mouse over these things to see, for example, what that does. Their defense goes down by 38.5% because we have air superiority. Just having green air, if you check F3, we are green air in these two zones. Just having green air reduces their defense by 38%. That's huge, right? A way to counter that, though, is to put anti-air in your divisions. If you actually put anti-air in here, this debuff would be smaller. Anti-air counters these debuffs.
Yeah.
But they don't. They're poor countries. They don't have any anti-air, right? Yeah. And I get air support plus to my breakthrough as well. and to my soft attack and hard attack too. Yeah, air support is really good. Air is strong. So yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, these guys folded, so they gave me 2 divisions as they merged into me. So I'm just gonna take this guy's front line. I'm gonna edit it and drag it out here, and then I'm gonna add these 2.
Give me a second. What was that?
Edit mode. You can drag
No,
and
who did fold there?
so the game starts with like Sultanate of something here. They're called Sultanate of Ausa is here, like a red territory. And what happens is an event pops up now after 15 days or something that makes me able to send a demand for them to subjugate to me and become part
I think
of
I
me.
didn't get that in the tutorial.
Oh, yeah, maybe not. Could be. But in real game that happens at least. I just sent the ultimate demand for them to subjugate to me, and they accepted. So they're now me, and they gave me their troops. And now I have this territory, so I just increase the front line to cover the whole thing. Take the troops, control click onto this one, and they just automatically become part of this guy and become part of this order.
Yeah.
And then I think I spread this guy out. Actually, I think... Nah, I don't think I can push that yet. How's the air zones look? So this tile is part of the southern air zone. I'm not sure if I have range here. Not really, right? You see my bombers and fighters are both not really reaching that far from the south. So I'm going to have to attack it from the north. But my north guys are still focused on this tile here. So I'm going to finish this tile first before I start trying to fuck with that. So yeah, these guys are here. I'll send one over here so I'm defending both tiles so they can't move through here and cut me off. But since I'm attacking here, they probably can't. They're pinned, right? Like they can't move while they're part of this battle, so yeah. Alright, off we go. Let's see, we're holding there. I think most of our purple guys are coming in here, so that's good. Success in northern Ethiopia, we took things, we get some buffs. Japan naval treaty, we don't give a fuck. We're doing this one. And now you can see we cleared this, nothing more in this air zone is completely ours. So we're going to be moving our air, we're shifting them over to this air zone. So these guys have CAS and fighters now, which means we get some bonuses here, and which means we can start pushing up here too, because now we have air in this zone too. We can push there too. Now we have guys down here, so we can start pushing here too. Supply is horrible up here. I'm not sure. Do we have trucks? We do have the trucks we need. So I'm gonna motorize. Actually, I'm just gonna do it the lazy way. I'm just gonna tell this guy I want everything where he is motorized. So this button here, motorization priority, he will automatically motorize any points that his army is close to. So you see, boom, motorized, motorized, motorized. Everything got motorized. And it looks like we have the trucks for it. -22 is fine. Supply here is horrible on this tile though, so we're just trying to push a little bit to increase to tiles where we do have better supply. These guys are moving, good. Success in the south as well.
You play in 5 speed, and then you do pause in between all the time.
Yeah, when I play alone I usually do it that way. Because then nothing is kind of stressful, right? I get a little stressed by playing like at 4 or 3 speed and then having events I need to click on stuff. I think it's better just pause. I can read and do things in calm.
Yeah, I always pause a lot as well.
Yeah.
And like until you did Ethiopia, you don't really do anything in the rest of Italy, right?
Not really. I mean, I did my industry, yeah, but nothing else is really happening up there that matters. We're just taking tile by tile. It's good to attack from multiple directions, especially for me, because the combat width will increase when attacked from multiple directions. So normally, here you can see, for example, the combat width here in the mountain tile is 50, right? But you also see combat width per additional direction plus 25, which means if I attack from a different direction, I'll increase the combat width a bit. And in this case, it's very beneficial for me, because you can see I'm using 44 combat width, and they're using 24, because they only have 3 divisions here. They don't have much here. And if I can increase the combat width even more and attack with even more, I can get more stuff into the battle, while they can't get more stuff into the battle, because they don't have anything else, right? So if I attack from the side here as well, you'll see boom, combat width goes up to 75. I now have all these guys in reserve, but since I'm not using full combat width, some of these results will come up into battle and join the actual fight. And they're not getting anything more, because they only have these 24, right? Like, a wider width doesn't help them at all. They can't get more units into the battle, because they're already using all their units. So you see, boom, now I have 6 divisions in, my division's up to 64, and I'm doing more damage. So attacking from multiple angles is almost always good, except for maybe when the enemy has even more troops than you have.
And combat width, it's basically how many things are attacking at the same time.
Yeah, how many can fit. And you see now I have a third tile I can attack from. I can attack from the left as well. So now, if I attack like that, boom, combat width is up to 100
And
now.
if you like just only take one from the troops on the left, it already would help.
Yes, a single one helps. We're going to be attacking on every direction at the same time.
Like if I compared to what I did in the tutorial, well, obviously microing it is a big difference. I think the major difference is I did not bring the troops from all of Italy down there in the beginning. I brought them later when the troops that were down there already were like in an attrition state. They had no supplies and so on, and then the additional troops that came didn't really help out that much. And I did not do the air thing. They told me to take the air that was already there and help with CAS and air superiority, but I think I never redirected the area where they should support, and I did not bring all the planes Italy has down there, just the ones that were there. So I think that also makes quite a difference.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of differences. I'm gonna see here. Do you see my fuel also runs out in one day? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into trade. I'm gonna buy some from. So as Italy, my trading partners. I don't want to trade with U.S., Soviet, UK. All these guys I'm gonna be fighting. Venezuela is neutral. They don't really do anything. So I'm gonna buy 16 fuel from Venezuela, and I can see in 1.2 years I'll be full. So it goes from going down to going up. Here's the regional land appropriation, or a region-wide industrial integration. I'm just unclicking that because I'm not going to be doing that. I don't want the notification from it. We got on. I forgot to do this too. We should be doing. We've got some military XP now, so we're going to be doing bold attacks, so our officers level up, attack more fast. As Italy, I'm kind of an attacking country. I'm going to be pushing in Africa, so I want to attack more than defense. We're going to be doing. I like this elevated engineering corps, increasing entrenchment speed, and also once I get railway guns, it's going to increase the damage from them. And then I'll probably gonna do static warfare, entrenchment speed, max entrenchment as well. Very good for like defending stuff. Sometimes I do this one, division speed and Orglos when moving. If I'm doing a lot of tanks, I usually go flexible organization instead. What we also can do is we can do some promotions on these guys. So this guy's got an infantry leader. He's gonna be the guy attacking with infantry. So I'm doing infantry expert on her. If I'm gonna be defending, I'm instead do ambusher with him, kinda. So this guy is also an attacking guy. I'm gonna do infantry expert on him too. We also have command power for our field marshal, so I'm gonna give him the charismatic thing that I talked about earlier. Good. So here's good. I broke through, got an encirclement, right? So these 2 units will die. Concentrated. And you see now I got a new airfield. I take the air from the south, move up here, and I do this air zone instead. Actually, this airport is even better. Because now I'm only fighting in this air zone here on the left, and then I get my air up there.
And you just select the planes and then right click on the new airfield, and then they go over there. Okay.
Yep. So now they're here. These guys are still up here in the north. So they don't really have range anymore, but these guys do. But this airport is only 200, so I can't move more air here really. But it's fine. They're almost dead, so we don't need much. At this point, I think I can just do something like that. It should be. Boom, over. Yeah, they capitulate. Got the victory points.
Alright.
So we bring the boys home. We do the thing here, and yeah.
How did you bring all of them home though?
I took my field marshal, and I gave him a fallback order over here. Just drew a line.
Okay.
So 45 divisions assigned to this one, that will make them all come home. When also a good thing to know is you can make orders with the field marshal instead of the individual generals, right? In the fight, I actually made like one order in the front and on the top with this guy, and one order in the bottom with this guy, right? But what I can do instead is I can do one order with entire with the entire guy like this. So now all 45 divisions from both generals are on the same order, right? It's a field marshal order. So this is a easier way to kind of handle things sometimes, instead of making like individual, like, oh, I want this guy to be from here to here, and then I want this guy to be from here to here, right? You can just make one big field marshal thing that covers the entire thing, and they split evenly across it. But yeah, I guess that's it.
And you will leave the colonies, let's say, undefended.
Yeah, I mean, automatically my MP division will go to occupy inside, right? So Ethiopia currently have the martial law, they have the MP unit, so resistance is increasing here, but there's nothing I can do about that with my actual units.
But do you build MP units?
No, they get built automatically by this thing.
Okay.
So by just setting this thing, they get automatically trained and deployed into... So you see right now I have 12.46 of these divisions taking care of Ethiopia.
Okay.
Because resistance is kind of high here, so a lot of them gets put here. So yeah, that happens automatically. As for game strategy, if I'm playing Italy in a historical game, I just abandon this part at all, completely. It's just too hard to defend.
Okay. But do you capture it in the beginning?
Yeah, you have to capture it because you're a focus tree. If you don't capture it, you end up like having to do struggle in Ethiopia, and you lose stability, and you have to undermine the dudes. You have to depose him and stuff. If I finish Ethiopia, I get solid progress. I can do these things down here. Triumph in Africa.
Yeah,
I've taken
that's
it.
what I had in the tutorial. I had either the fiasco or the struggle. I think I chose the struggle.
Okay, yeah.
And,
I don't know. Usually when I build, at least play historically, I want to do this path with Colto de Duce, right? So I keep Mussolini, because he's pretty strong. He's got some good buffs and stuff. I wanna keep doing.
Such a large tree that you have on the right that you can do.
Yeah, a lot of it gets locked off though. Once you pick this guy, right, this entire area here goes away, and then this entire area here goes away, right? Because this, and this are the three like directions. So it actually goes away when you pick this one. So it gets a bit smaller.
So
it's
what's
easier to see.
the far right? What can you do there?
This is your diplomacy basically. So usually what I do is foreign affairs and then into Balkan ambitions, which means I get claims on Yugoslavia, so I can declare war on them. And then I do Pact of Steel, which means I join the Allies, and both me and Germany get some benefits, right? I do Albanian occupations, you take over Albania, and then you can push on a bit down here.
You do Axis, not Allies.
Yeah, part of the Axis.
You said Allies.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Axis. Obviously, Italy's an Axis country. You can also do the focus here if you're really serious about Spain. This gives you a little bit of a bonus to your volunteers you're going to be sending to Spain as soon as the Civil War breaks out, which is actually it's already happened. So yeah, that's the next thing I would do, right? Send volunteers, boom, send 3 volunteers.
To help Spain with the Civil War, so Spain gets...
Yeah, but honestly, I don't really give a fuck about Spain. What I'm doing it for is to grind XP, right? What happens to Spain doesn't really matter, but my XP is important as Italy, especially as Germany too.
One additional general thing, when do you start building mills instead of civs?
It's so country dependent. As Italy, I would say maybe early 39 is where I would maybe start building mills, I think. I like being civ greedy though. I like being strong late game. So I usually try to build a lot of civs. But I can definitely I would buy an argument that you start building mills in 37 even as well. So it depends a bit on playstyle and what you're going for. Like if you're going for a strong early Africa war where you're just like trying to push them out of Africa as Italy, then yeah, building mills early 37 could even be good. But I like a bit of a more slow burn game where Italy plays a larger part in the later game versus Soviet and holding D-days and stuff like that. And then starting out with a stronger civilian industry earlier on is better. I don't know what else I would be doing here. War economy probably. I'd probably get like captain of industry, financial expert. These guys are good. And then like a chief of army, a chief of navy. As Italy, like the main thing, your goal as Italy kinda is to challenge UK in the fleet in the Med, right?
So Italy is very naval focused.
Yeah, I would say at least the way I think it should. Like you can abandon Africa as Italy as well. You don't you just even abandon this area here, right? And you just pull out of Africa and you just chill in Europe. And that's a legit strategy too. But I prefer an Italy that can challenge Africa. And in order to challenge Africa, you need to be able to get troops and supply over, right? And in order to do that, you need to win the naval battle in the Med. You need to push the UK out of the Med with the navy. So then you need to go kind of heavy into.
So what you would do is then now is after this is going to see that you push out the UK out of the Mediterranean Sea, or
kinda. Like what I would do is I would research these ones in 2.4 years, together with this thing, the Advanced Fire Control System, and then I would build heavy battle cruisers. So the 1936 cruisers with new heavy guns that I researched, and make them into, they become capital ships, heavy ships. And then I would build shitty destroyers, so just 1936 destroyers with just the shittiest gun on them. Because you need screens, right? Destroyers and light cruisers are screens, and capital ships are capital ships. So you need some shitty fucking screens to just be there to absorb hits for your, so your big guys don't die. And then the big guys on the back shooting. So that's what I would do, and I would start spamming out, like building 4 in parallel of those battle cruisers. And yeah, just try to out navy UK. It's tough, especially if there's a player, right? But yeah. And then I would build some air, build some naval bombers, because naval bombers are very strong to have as well. Sitting in like this airport, and I would challenge this air zone, this naval zone first, maybe, if they're in here. Could be able to naval bomb this one too, with this airport from here, with fighters and naval bombers. And yeah, just try to get a good fight against the UK fleet, decimate it, and repair, and then hopefully have somewhat of a green air or green navy. And then if I have green navy, what happens is after Germany kills France and stuff, right? Things are pretty chill for Germany. Like, sure, you can finish off Yugoslavia, but there's no real fronts. So what can happen then is, as long as the navy is green, and like you have to actually have control of these 2 naval zones, Germany can send over tanks to Africa and just break through Egypt, right? And just fuck them up. And once you have Egypt, it's kind of hard for the Allies to do much, because their fleet is locked out of the Med, because you control the Suez Channel now. Yeah, you can just keep pushing in Africa. It's hard to defend because it's low supply and shitty terrain. And yeah. So that's a general strategy I would use with Italy.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a bunch of other ways. I usually when I play single player Italy, I don't even join the Axis. I do like a separate fascist Italy kinda. And then I try to play all sides at once, like eventually joining in on the war against Germany and killing Germany as well from the south to steal some of their territory before I fight all the allies alone. But I don't do that anymore with a new mod, of course, because the mod is actually insane. But the AI is like the default AI isn't too good in the game, so that's why I need to do stuff like that. True. But that's why I need to do stuff to challenge myself, like not become part of the German faction, right? But yeah, if I'm playing with the mod, I'm definitely joining the Axis.
Yeah, I think the whole other book of worms that I still have no fucking clue about is just designing divisions.
Okay, I mean, I can show you a bit about it. What I like to do, just as a general thing, is like a 20 width infantry division.
Yeah, I remember the 20 width. Is there like a rule of, like, I did read a bit that it's actually best to have like support, what was it, air, artillery, and I think there was like 3 or 4 things that you should always have. I don't remember.
Green air, CAS, or you mean in the division?
Yeah.
So okay. Give me a sec. I'm just gonna HOI4 cheat tech. Let's see. Research on icon click. That's how it's research on icon click. There we go. So the way I would design this is I would do. We need the recon in here. Boom.
That's like cheats where I can just give yourself all the stuff.
So cavalry, this is like a cheap defensive, 20 width, XP 500. So here's a 20 width. It has support artillery, shovels, and the cheapest recon. I think this is a pretty good division. You can skip the recon if you're a country that's poor. But I like the recon. If you're a country that's rich, you can even do motorized recon instead. You see the stats go up a bit. You get a bit more reconnaissance, a bit more defense. This is a good. It's a defensive template, right? Like it doesn't have that much pushing power. It doesn't have much breakthrough, but you can see the defense is very high. This is a perfect thing to just like have a long front line off, along
just
a front line or
infantry. No fancy stuff.
Yeah, kinda. And like defending ports, they're perfect too. Just sit on the port, right? In order to defend ports, you basically do this. By the way, if you haven't, area defense, guard naval bases, and then you just click like this, right? Yeah. And then they will automatically defend that. So they're my like go-to bread and butter. I usually give them this symbol as well, the tower for defense. And then for if you're doing any special units, mountaineers are very good. I would say they're the go-to best ones. And the way I do mountaineers is 25 width, right? Fuck. We do 1 artillery to get an uneven, because they're 3 combat width. Because mountain is 50 combat width, and then plus 25 from each direction. So if you have 25 combat width on a mountaineer, they fit perfectly into the combat width on a mountain tile. So they fight very well on the mountain tile. So I would do something like...
So the width is always depending on the tile that you want to use them in, more or less?
Yes. I actually have a... You're going to laugh at this if you haven't seen it before. I don't think you have. I made this. Here you go. Check that link.
Holy shit.
So what you see here is... at the top you see the different terrains, plains, desert,
Yeah.
forest, jungle, and you see if you're attacking from one direction in plains, combat width is 70, and then for each additional it's plus 45, right? If you're attacking from like multiple directions.
Attacks. Or like 1, 2, 3, 4 direction, like number
Yeah.
of attacks is the directions. Okay,
Yeah. And then on the left you see div width is the division width you make, and then the percentage on the left there is the average across on the right, right? So if you're fighting very varied terrain, you can see that, for example, 20 looks good, 6.45%. You see it's kind of green, and 15 width is good too, right? 4.18%. So this is basically how much loss you have, right, in combat width, right? Like how unwell you fit in.
Okay.
So if you see the mount
So the
in
lower the
mountain,
number, the better, or what?
well, if you see mountain, for example, right, and you see 25 width, you can see it's 0, 0, 0, 0 on every direction.
Mountain,
25.
mountains, 25 width.
So row 30.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's 0, 0, 0. And in marsh, it's also 0, 0, 0. And that's because the Martian mountains is 50, 75, 100, 125, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
any way you put 25 into that, you're going to have no losses at all. You're going to fit perfectly into that width, right? But as you can see, like if you try to put a 45 width division into a mountain tile,
Yeah.
you're going to have like 12% loss, right? Or 10% loss. And that's because like...
and the loss means basically that the troops that cannot fit into the tile, so they have to wait to fight.
Yeah, basically. Like,
Okay.
basically, like if you try to put 45 into 50, right, you will have 45
Yeah.
versus an enemy that might have 50. So you will lose like 10%. And if you try to put two 45s in, they just won't be able to enter the battle, right? Because it's too much. It's too wide. So here you can see if you just do an all-around general, like 20 width is good, 15 width is good, 35 width is kind of good too, right? So that's why I like doing 35 width tanks. 30 width is also good, 11.27. So you kind of want to try to find these like breakpoints where it's kind of low for general terrain, and then you can build specialized terrain too, right? Like you can do if you look specifically for like mountains and hills, you can see like what's good in mountains and hills.
Yeah, or if
25.
you look for forest and jungle, it's 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Plains and desert, it's 35.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like if you're defending Finland, for example, in forests, yeah, 30 with infantry. I would probably make my division 30 with infantry in the forest in Finland.
Interesting. That's kind of insane. To be honest. How did you make this?
I just mapped it out, right? Like, I clicked in game. If you click on the terrain, like if you watch my stream, if you click here, you see hills. You mouse over hills. You can see combat with 70, additional attacks 35.
But I know the calculation. It's essentially it's how much overflow you have when you want to put a certain width division into a certain tile.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you calculate here, right?
Yeah.
So I understand it correctly.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
percentage is the overflow percentage of what's not being used in the tile.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you're missing.
Ah, alright, okay.
So the math is just I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't
like,
remember
I
exactly what's
understand that if you
D
look at
for.
the average, you have the breaking points with 15, 20, 35.
Yeah. There's like some good ones that like are better than. So like 35 is a lot better than 36, right?
Yeah.
But then 35 is about the same as 30 and 29 kind of too. So like some matter and some don't matter kind of. But I like this as a sort
but
of like
it's kinda
general.
interesting if you
Yeah.
look at it, that like the difference between 35 and 36 is quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's almost double.
Yep. So 36 is actually a horrible size.
It's almost the worst.
Yeah.
For all of them.
But then you also don't want to go too small, right? Because there's a thing in this game called well, basically, imagine this. Imagine you have a 40 width division, right? And you're fighting 40 enemy 1 width divisions, right?
They are not coherent, I guess. Then.
Yeah. What happens basically is that every time I reduce one of them to 0 org, it will start retreating, and its soft attack and hard attack will go away, right? But if they have one 40 width division, they all have to be reduced to 0 org before their soft attack and hard attack go away, right? Yeah. So having bigger divisions is generally better. That's why a 35 width, even though it's more overflow, like 11.9, is better than a 20 width.
Yeah, like a 35 would be bad in forest if you only attack from wrong direction, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you would want to attack Finland just from one direction, going with 35 would be really bad. As USSR, for example.
Give me a second. There's someone playing Monkey outside. I'm just going.
What? Monkey?
It's like 3 guys on the floor. What the fuck?
What the fuck are they doing?
They're playing monkeys.
Weirdos.
They're swimming.
Did you see him live on Twitch?
You got what?
Did you see him live on Twitch?
You got what?
Yeah, just showing Ish and stuff. In this game. What?
We were live on Twitch.
Because we're showing Ish and stuff.
We're playing Twitch.
Because that was the only way we could stream it.
We still have weapons.
I think so. Alright, I'm back.
What was playing outside?
Some dudes in the neighboring building is in the pool and they were making loud monkey noises.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, some British or German or Swedish tourists, I guess. Just enjoying the pool. So yeah.
Alright.
I'm not sure if there's anything else here when it comes to division designing
I
really
guess.
to think about.
So in general, if I go always for 20 width, I'm never really that wrong with it.
Yeah, no, 20 width is a good. So like I said, I like this division because you don't want to go too wide on these either because you want to be able to fill out a big line, right? The problem is if you go for like 35 width defensive, you might not have enough divisions for a bigger line. Like if you're defending against Russia or something, right? The line is long, so you need a lot of divisions to be able to fill out all the tiles.
Yeah.
So
And offensive?
yeah. And for offensive, I like to do, so tanks is obviously very strong due to the hardness thing. But if you can't afford tanks, motorized divisions I actually kind of like as an offensive. So I like doing 35 with motorized. This is usually the cheap offensive thing I usually like building. Like something like... So you have motorized artillery here, right? Which means they keep their speed.
Yeah.
And then we go up to like...
So if you're having infantry that's not motorized, you can go with the normal support battalions. If you have motorized stuff, you need to have the mobile combat support.
Yeah. You don't need to, but otherwise you see that this division now, his is 35 width, right? This is pretty good. We want this one, and we want this one, I think. Something like this is what I would say a good attacking division. We get a decent chunk of breakthrough. And yeah, we keep the 12 kilometers per hour speed. Because speed is pretty good to have on an offensive division, right? It means like if you break one tile, you can like keep moving and probably move faster than the enemy can retreat or move into defensive positions, and you can get an encirclement to kill some shit off, right? And yeah, we put a lot of motorized artillery in here, right, to get the soft attack. Because like if we don't do motorized and we do more of this, we lose a lot of soft attack, right? The artillery actually gives a lot of soft attack.
Yeah.
These guys will get fucked by a tank, right? A proper tank will fuck these guys, a tank division. But against infantry, these guys will do very well. They will cut through infantry pretty well. Yeah. But you see, if we change this one to a not motorized, boom, for 4 kilometers now, right away.
No, yeah.
So yeah, something like this I like for an attacking motorized. If you want to do attacking infantry, just non-motorized, I think what I would do is, yeah, maybe 35 with as well, and just add some artillery here, right?
And do you ever add anti-air or anti-tank in there?
It depends on the situation. I think anti-air is good to build if you know you're gonna not have air, right? So let's say you are doing a Soviet build, and you know, like Germany will attack you in 42 or whatever, right? And you don't want to build too much planes yourself. Like you know, for example, that they have more mills on planes than you can handle, so you've given up the air war. You don't want to do air. Then yes, absolutely, put anti-air in your divisions. And same for anti-tank. If you know your opponent's gonna be building a lot of tanks, definitely put anti-tank in your divisions.
And if I don't know?
Then honestly, maybe not. like they don't really do much for your division except for fuck tanks, right? So you can add anti-tank and anti-air both as a support and as just
Yeah, that's what I
line.
meant,
So here you get like 15 anti-air attack, right, if you put them as support anti-air. And that's decent, but you get even more if you actually add them properly here, right? You can add them as
Yeah.
proper here. You get 19 if you add them as proper, and give some combat width too.
But it's not
Um,
necessarily a bad thing to have one anti-air support and one anti-tank support in it.
No, not a bad thing for sure, but it is kind of wasted if you're not actually going to be fighting air or tanks with them, right? Like, if you know your enemy doesn't have tanks, like if you're playing, I don't know, let's say you're playing Iran, you're going to be fighting Iraq or something, right? You know
But
that
I
they're
don't
not. They're
know
not.
this.
Okay, well.
I will not know what the enemy has.
Kinda.
for a long
You
time.
can figure it out though. Like you can do intel here, right? So for example, I can see here that Iraq doesn't have any
Yeah, but that's
mills on their
like,
tanks.
That's too much for me in the beginning.
Sure,
That's
sure.
why I'm asking for something general where I can deal with most stuff, even though it's not 100% efficient.
I mean, in general, I would do just this. I think. I think anti-tank and anti-air is too specialized to really be used in general.
Okay.
Um,
And in terms of like other support stuff, like hospitals, logistics, and so on.
yeah, not good in general, but they're necessary. They're like specific things, right? So maintenance, you always want to have it in a tank division.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to design tanks with lower reliability, right? Reliability is basically how much shit goes destroyed during fighting.
Yeah.
And if you have 100% reliability, nothing gets destroyed while fighting, really, right? So you kind of want to reach that. So the way you do it is like if you have your if you have a maintenance company, they add. Can I even look? I can't click to look now, but they add like a certain percentage reliability to all your stuff, which means you can go up on the armor, on the tanks, and the engine and stuff like that, which reduces reliability. So you get better stats, right? But otherwise, you don't really have a use for maintenance. There are some niche situations where you could be like trying to capture, because it also gives you capture of enemy equipment you destroy. So like if you're fighting some enemy tanks, for example, you don't have tanks yourself, but you don't want to build tanks, but you want to be able to steal tanks from the enemy to then make some tanks yourself or something, you could put maintenance in, but that's a meme thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Field hospital gives you trickle back and of manpower. So basically, when you lose manpower when you're fighting, some of it comes back to your manpower pool, so you can deploy it. So it's very useful for something like Iceland, where you don't have any fucking manpower at all, right?
Yeah.
The shitty manpower of doom. Yeah, some field hospitals there can make your manpower go a long way. But for any country that has a decent manpower, like Italy, I have 718k, right? I wouldn't put that on anything, really. It can also be a bit of a meme because it gives you less XP loss. Like when you're fighting, right? Your units gain XP when fighting, but they also lose XP when they die. So in general, units will go like plus minus a little bit, maybe plus a little bit of XP. But if you get the hospitals, they actually start going plus XP a lot from fighting. So if you want like really elite units, like super tanks that have like the highest...
But it's also something specific.
Yeah,
Again,
I wouldn't build it in general. Logistics can be good in general, depending on where you fight. If you're going to be fighting in Africa, you want logistics in all your shit. So what I do, when I do Africa, by the way, I do a specific division here. I do a cavalry that I put logistics in, and I think I put shovels in, and then I do...
Shovels are always good, right?
Yeah, they're pretty low supply use. You can see it only uses 0.01 supply.
Yeah.
And it gives you entrenchment, which is very important, yeah, and it gives you some good attack bonuses on certain things like crossing over rivers and stuff like that. So yeah, shovels is cheap and good. But yeah, if I was fighting in Africa, going through the jungles and shit in Africa, I would do something like this. Like 20 width, I guess, but... So logistics and engineer now, because the logistics reduces from 0.34, actually not that much, but if you get higher ranks of logistics, it helps. And supply is always going to be fucked in Africa, right? Especially if you get down in this area here. The supply is so rough here. There's like no supply points or anything. So yeah, it goes a long way. You don't want to put artillery in there because artillery actually uses a lot of supply. So logistics, I would say, can be good in general. And also it's good for tanks, right? Because tanks uses so much supply.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes hard to get like 5 tanks on the same tile, because that tile specifically will be out of supply even if the tiles around it is okay. So therefore it's good. Signal is very good for pushing stuff. It gives you initiative, which means you have a higher chance of going from reserves into the fight. So you have
So
a
signal is always kind of decent to have.
yeah, like if you're building attacking stuff, it's good on. It's not good on defending stuff. So I wouldn't put it on the defensive template here, but
Well,
in the mountaineer one, I would put it.
In most cases right now, I just build one division. that I use for
Yeah, and
everything.
in that case, I don't think I would put signal in it. I think it's too expensive.
Okay.
It costs like trucks and stuff. I think. Yeah, it's kind of a high truck and manpower cost for not really any benefits if you're not specifically attacking with it.
I think I now know why my divisions that I build always take ages to build, because I put everything in there.
Okay, yeah. then they become pretty expensive, yeah. You can see down here, right, an estimate of the cost for a division.
Yeah.
So this is a good 20 width, right? Like it costs around
but
700.
Those numbers tell me nothing. That's the problem. Right?
Yeah, but you can compare it, compare the Mountaineer division. Well, I didn't actually do the Mountaineer division. And the tank one here, I have is shit. But like a good tank division is like 20,000 production maybe. So this one costing only 700 is pretty cheap.
And I always feel like that the training takes the longest actually.
Yeah. You want to be doing that
And you only
plenty in
and you only
advance,
do
kind of.
one after another, so it's just takes so long.
Kinda. I mean, after the war, we're still low on guns and stuff here. But if I had more, I would start training, right? Like what I do is usually is like stuff like this, and then I do like maybe for Italy, I think I can accommodate maybe 12 at the same time, and then like set
What
a
do you mean
point.
12 at the same time?
So here I'm training 12 division in parallel, right?
Oh, okay. I only only had one of them.
Okay. I mean, it depends on how big your country is, but yeah, as Italy you can definitely handle 12. As Germany I do maybe 24 at a time. As USA I would do maybe 48 at a time. But basically, if you press train here, right?
Okay, that explains why it takes so long for me.
You set it to train, set it at low priority, right? And then you can just press add unit here. You add more lines in parallel. And these guys will all be trained in
okay.
parallel. And you'll be capped. I can do 18 at most right now. It's because of how much I already have in the field. So the more you have in the
Okay.
field, the more you can actually train at the same time as well.
And does the location where you train them matter?
No. They get trained
Just where they
off map.
spawn,
Yeah, this is
essentially.
just where they spawn. And you can also give them order when they spawn, even like this. Boom. Say when they spawn, they will automatically become part of this order and part of these armies.
Alright. Thank you. A lot of info.
Yeah.
Maybe
A
half
bit
of
of
it I
an
already forgot.
info dump. But at least you've seen it, I think, and that can help you ask some
Yeah.
questions and stuff in the future.
The biggest change was drag and drop off.
Yeah, you can drag and drop here too if you want to order priority.
Holy shit.
And also shift click to the bottom and shift click to the top.
Yeah, that's something I figured already.
Okay. Cool.
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 You wanna play something?
Yeah, I'm thinking, do we want to do some armor maybe? Or are we looking into doing some HOI today? Or what are we feeling?